Good morning and happy Wednesday. I'm a little late eating breakfast. 10:37. But finally, 2 eggs and a piece of Dave's Killer Bread, sprouted green and seed bread, I think it's called. Hey, forget the way I look. You've seen me like this in other videos. Nothing's changed. If I don't have to go anywhere, which I don't today, no makeup and hair is not done. It's all natural me, but at least I put a bra on. That's always a good thing. So, I thought I'd pop back on here and explain some things a little more as to what's going on, why we're making the decisions we are, and keep y'all in the loop as to how I'm trying to move forward. So, first of all, I'm holding the camera because my tripod broke, so I do need to get a new tripod. It hasn't been at the top of my priority list, but I will work on that because this is probably annoying as crap, me constantly moving the camera around because I have to keep going from arm to arm. So, the decision Mike and I made to move back here, we both fully agree, because we've talked about it, that it was the worst decision we've ever made in our entire all but 36 years we've been together. 36 years, the end of this month, we will have been together. Wow. So yeah, this was by far the worst decision. We shouldn't have come back. We should have done the tough love thing and let these two up here try to figure it out on their own. Since we've been back, we've been killing ourselves physically, trying to keep up with this place, with very little help and encouragement from the two people who own this property. It's not fair. They don't want to make any changes. They have no business living up here in the woods like this by themselves. I guess they just thought we would just come in and just take care of everything for them and they could live their lives without making any kind of sacrifices or changes on their own. Which, that's the way it's been, but we can't do it any longer. Like I said in the other video, Mike and I are just miserable. So we got to pull ourselves up out of this. Let me take my glasses off in case you're getting a glare. We have to pull ourselves up out of this. So what keeps us from just moving out today? It's my job. As I said the other day, I'm waiting to hear from TSA. I'm sitting in the ready pool, but I'm sitting in the ready pool for both Florida and Harrisburg, with both job postings closing this week. So I don't want to up and just get an apartment here and then I get called for Florida. So that's what we're waiting on. So hopefully in the next few weeks, we will know where I'm going. Again, Mike doesn't know I put in for Florida, but if I get it, I'm going. He'll come down. He'll eventually catch up with me just like he did before. And that sounds like that's not a good way to run a marriage, but my husband always likes to play it safe and I always like to jump in head first. So we kind of balance each other out. But if I waited on him to make the move, we'd never get anything we wanted because he always wants to play it safe. He's getting older, and that's his excuse. He doesn't consider himself marketable anymore. And I try to tell him that's not the case. He's going to be 53 on Sunday. So yeah, he's not 33 anymore, but he's still marketable. The man has so much knowledge in his field, it's insane. He just likes to always be comfortable. So that's why, I'm making the decision without him. And it will be fine. He'll be fine. The problem is going to be to go back to Florida. We don't have the financial safety net we had the first time because it cost us so much money up front to make the move. Him going down without the job, me paying an entire year's worth of rent up front, just the moving cost itself, because we moved twice. We moved me down, then we moved him down, and then the cost to turn around and move back up here again. It cost us I'm probably lowballing the figure, but I know between 3 moves, the year startup costs, transferring everything, we easily have $30-some thousand wrapped up into that. So I don't have that big safety net anymore to fall back on. So if I get a job in Florida and I have to go quickly, guess what? That's what I said the other day. I'm bunking with one of the kids, probably Caitlin. So, but I know I have it in me to make it work. And that's what I have to keep telling myself. The last 2 days I've been on my YouTube channel, kind of sprucing it up a little bit, hopefully. I've been doing YouTube off and on since the end of 2015, so that's a little over 4 years worth of videos, some more consistent than others. But if I look back over those videos, they were a combination of things. So I went on YouTube the last few days creating playlists, like for people that only want to see my grocery hauls, or people that only want to see my cooking videos, or people that only want to see my travel videos. Because I know my content isn't going to be for everybody. There's some people that only want specific things. So it made me sit and go through every single video that I've ever posted. Now, I didn't watch every video from beginning to end that I've ever posted. I just kind of skimmed through so I could just get instead of the big screen, the little screen that comes up on the timeline, just to see what was in the video, because a lot of times from the title you couldn't tell what all was in the video. So I did a lot of organizing. But what I noticed in doing that is the difference in myself, physically, mentally, and emotionally over the course of the last 4 years. How my countenance and my demeanor and what I look like physically have really changed a lot over the years. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the very bad. It was usually pretty positive up until the point where I started losing the dog, then my dad, then my stepdad, and that's, you know, normal. Nobody's going to look like they're light as air going through the amount of deaths I did. In an 18-month period, I had gone through at least 9 deaths, some of them being very significant. Where I looked really good was back, like, right before my dad had died and right before Casper had died. Like late spring, early summer 2017, when I was really working on myself mentally and emotionally. And it was noticeable. I can't talk. It was noticeable that getting healthy on the inside was even helping the outside. My skin looked healthier. My hair looked healthier. Everything about me just looked positive. And then the whirlwind happened of my move to Florida, which, if you look at the first video that I pick up in Florida, which I think was called Removing Toxic People, which doesn't sound like it has anything to do with Florida, and it doesn't, but it explains how I got there. Oh my gosh, I couldn't stop smiling. I even explained in that video how I was so stinking happy. I would be driving to work in the morning and I'd cry because I was so happy, and I felt so blessed to be able to finally have the life that I had been dreaming of. And then the shoulder surgery hit. And I've been through a lot of surgeries in my life, but the one on the shoulder, man, the second half of my year in Florida, you can see it taking its toll on me. I was so swelled and puffy, on so many drugs, steroids. It was a full year of healing for this rotator cuff, a whole year. Even now, I still have trouble with this shoulder, and it's been well over a year. It's never going to be 100%. But I had to have the surgery, or it would have gotten to the point where I couldn't have even lifted my arm anymore. So, wow, that did a number on me. So you start with that physical trauma that I was still dealing with when we decided to make the move back here, and then how complete opposite my life has turned out to be compared to what I thought it was going to be when we came back. It's no wonder I got into one hell of a bad slump. So, in seeing those videos, it was a wake-up call that, damn it, girl, you've got to get out of this slump and get your life back. So, I'm working on it. Going back to work is going to be the key component into how fast things move. I am going to reread my book again. And this was the book that I read that helped me the first time. Mastering Your Mean Girl by Melissa Ambrosini. This book was a life changer for me. So I'm going to start rereading it again. Creating my own space here in the basement so I have some place to escape to has definitely helped. Although, like I showed you the other day, not much of this stuff is mine. I have very little that is mine down here. But I know I have to make it work. Getting out with my friends more. Last week I went to breakfast with two people, a guy and a girl, that I went to high school with. We weren't even friends in high school. We ran with completely different crowds. I was the geek. Amy was on the homecoming court. And Aaron was one of the punk rock kids. So we did not hang out at all. But you know how people change after graduation. If you follow me on Facebook, you'll see that I had a huge, huge 50th birthday party here. On a weekend my mother was out of town. And I invited everyone that I ever went to high school with. Just invited the entire class. Well, lo and behold, Aaron and Amy, they both show up. And I thought, you know, there's a reason that they both showed up here. So I invited them to breakfast. We went to breakfast last Thursday, 2-hour breakfast. Just catching up and seeing, you know, how our lives have changed, how our lives are not what we expected them to be, and how in other ways we got what we wanted. And it was so nice just catching up. And then the next night, I called my friend Rita, spur of the moment, hey, let's go for pizza. And we met them for pizza. And just taking the time to reconnect with people from my past that I couldn't have done living in Florida, since mostly everybody's still here in York. Friday, gone away with my BFF all day. Friday night, getting together with Maite and Alan. Maite I used to work with at U.S. Airways and American Airlines, and we're meeting down in Maryland at Hunt Valley to go to dinner together. And they were at my birthday party. So trying to focus on my friendships and other relationships is definitely a starting point in the healing process. What else? Mike and I have been binge watching some Netflix shows. Right now we're in the middle of Breaking Bad. Wow, that show's just messed up. But we're hooked on it. I just finished Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce, which I absolutely loved. It was like a modern day Sex and the City, which Sex and the City was always one of my favorite shows. So loved it. And I was always a big fan of Grace and Frankie, and season 6 was just released today. So I'm just starting episode 1 of season 6 of Grace and Frankie. So during the day when I don't have anything to do, I have my television shows that I watch. I have been reading, even though I'm going to go back and reread my book. I've been reading this one as well, The Hormone Health Zone, and very informative on how hormones play a part in a lot of the diseases that we have in this country, and how messed up our hormones get just from environmental factors, diet, prescriptions. Just, it's crazy. And God knows I've had my hormonal issues over the years with all my lady part issues. But even though I have no parts left, there's still other hormones in the body. And this book is not just for women, it's for men also. Because men's testosterone levels drop as they get old, and that just can make a mess for men as well. So I think I'm going to end this here, because this battery is just about done. And of course I go to pick up the camera again after how many months, and none of my batteries are fully charged. So I'm going to end this here and get this uploaded. I miss you guys. I'm so glad for the comments on the last video supporting me and my decision and what I want to do. And please keep in contact with me, and I am hopefully going to get back to what and where I was. What and where I was. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay. See you later. Bye.